The reason Japan has some of the lowest cancer mortality rates in the world is often misunderstood. Many people assume it is due to superior healthcare systems or genetic advantages, but the evidence points somewhere far more practical and actionable: daily habits. Specifically, researchers studying long-lived populations in regions like Okinawa and Nagano discovered that a consistent set of morning behaviors plays a critical role in shaping the body's internal environment in a way that directly impacts how cancer cells grow, survive, and spread. This insight challenges the common belief that longevity and cancer resistance are largely determined by genetics. In fact, when Japanese individuals move to Western countries and adopt Western lifestyles, their cancer rates rise within just 1 or 2 generations. Their DNA does not change, but their habits do. This clearly demonstrates that behavior, especially dietary and lifestyle choices, has a profound effect on long-term health outcomes. At the center of this discussion is a crucial biological window, the first 2 hours after waking. During this time, the body experiences a natural surge in cortisol, which activates immune defenses, particularly natural killer cells responsible for identifying and destroying abnormal cells. However, as people age, several protective systems weaken simultaneously. DNA repair processes slow down, immune surveillance becomes less aggressive, and the body's ability to prevent tumor growth through blocking blood vessel formation declines. These changes create an environment where cancer cells can grow more easily if not actively managed. The traditional Japanese morning routine appears to counteract these weaknesses through 3 powerful mechanisms. First, fermented foods increase beneficial gut bacteria, especially Akkermansia mucinifila, which plays a key role in enabling the immune system to detect and attack cancer cells. Second, green tea, particularly matcha, contains a compound called EGCG that interferes with cancer cells' ability to form blood vessels, effectively starving them of nutrients. Third, a combination of nutrients from these foods supports DNA repair processes, helping reduce damage at the cellular level. This routine is simple but precise. It begins shortly after waking, allowing the body's natural activation processes to occur uninterrupted. Green tea is consumed early, prepared at a specific temperature to preserve its active compounds. This is often followed by a fermented food such as natto, which enhances gut health and supports immune function. The eating pattern also emphasizes moderation, stopping at about 80% fullness, which triggers autophagy, a process where the body clears damaged cells and cellular debris. Together, these practices create a coordinated system that supports immune surveillance, prevents tumor growth, and enhances DNA repair. Scientific evidence supports these practices. Large-scale studies involving over 1 million participants have shown that regular green tea consumption is associated with reduced risk of several types of cancer. Other research demonstrates that compounds in green tea can selectively trigger cancer cell death without harming healthy cells. Additionally, studies on fermented foods and gut bacteria reveal significant improvements in the body's ability to regulate immune responses and reduce inflammation. However, the effectiveness of this routine can be easily undermined by common habits. Adding dairy to green tea reduces the absorption of beneficial compounds. High-sugar breakfasts suppress immune activity during a critical time. Skipping fermented foods removes an essential component of the system. Relying on supplements instead of whole foods also reduces effectiveness, as natural food matrices provide better absorption and synergistic benefits. Consistency is key. The benefits of these habits are cumulative, meaning they build over time rather than producing immediate results. Even partial adherence can yield measurable improvements, while striving for perfection often leads to inconsistency and abandonment of the routine. Supporting factors such as morning light exposure further enhance these effects by regulating circadian rhythms, which influence immune function, DNA repair, and cell division. Beyond cancer prevention, the script also highlights another overlooked health issue: fluid retention in the lower legs, particularly in older adults. This condition is often misunderstood as a heart or salt problem, but in many cases, it is related to the lymphatic system, a drainage network that lacks its own pump and relies on movement to function. When people remain inactive for long periods, fluid accumulates in the tissues, leading to swelling, discomfort, and disrupted sleep. The lymphatic system depends on physical movement to circulate fluid. Walking, muscle contractions, and even simple ankle movements help push lymph upward. Without this activity, fluid stagnates, especially in the lower extremities. Aging further reduces the efficiency of this system, making swelling more common. Importantly, this type of fluid retention differs from conditions caused by heart or kidney issues, which require medical evaluation. A practical solution involves simple daily habits. Gentle movements throughout the day, short walks, and specific exercises such as ankle pumps can maintain circulation. Elevating the legs before bedtime and practicing deep breathing helps stimulate lymph flow and prevent fluid buildup overnight. These actions are simple but effective, addressing the root cause rather than masking symptoms. Diet also plays a role. Excess sodium, prolonged sitting, and alcohol consumption can worsen fluid retention, while proper hydration, adequate protein intake, and nutrient-rich foods support vascular and lymphatic health. Understanding these mechanisms allows individuals to take control of their health in a practical and sustainable way. In summary, both sections of the script emphasize a central idea: the body is highly responsive to daily habits. Whether it is reducing cancer risk or improving fluid circulation, small, consistent actions, especially those performed in the morning or before rest, can significantly influence long-term health. These are not complex or expensive interventions, but they are grounded in biological mechanisms and supported by research. The key is not perfection, but consistency and awareness of how everyday choices shape the body over time. Beyond cancer prevention, there is another critical health issue that often goes unnoticed, especially in people over the age of 60: swelling in the legs and ankles. Many individuals assume this is caused by heart problems, excessive salt intake, or simply aging, but in most cases, the real issue lies in a system that is rarely explained: the lymphatic system. If you've ever removed your socks at the end of the day and noticed deep indentations in your skin that take time to disappear, what you're seeing is not just a minor inconvenience. It is a sign that fluid has accumulated in your tissues throughout the day. This fluid can amount to a significant volume, quietly building up in your lower legs while you sit or remain inactive. When you finally lie down at night, that fluid shifts back into your bloodstream, placing additional strain on your heart and kidneys and often disrupting your sleep. To understand this properly, you need to recognize that your body has two separate fluid circulation systems. The first is the blood circulatory system, powered by the heart, which continuously pumps blood through arteries and veins. The second is the lymphatic system, which is responsible for collecting excess fluid, waste products, and toxins from tissues and returning them to the bloodstream. Unlike the circulatory system, the lymphatic system has no pump. It relies entirely on movement, muscle contractions, walking, and physical activity to keep fluid moving. This means that when you remain still for long periods, such as sitting for hours, the lymphatic system slows down or even stops. Fluid begins to accumulate, particularly in the lower parts of the body due to gravity. While this may not be noticeable in younger individuals because their lymph vessels are more elastic and efficient, aging changes this dynamic. The vessels stiffen, their internal valves weaken, and the surrounding tissues lose elasticity, making it easier for fluid to leak out and harder for it to drain. Over time, this creates a persistent buildup of fluid in the legs. However, it is important to distinguish between harmless lymphatic swelling and more serious conditions. Sudden swelling in one leg accompanied by pain, redness, or warmth may indicate a blood clot and requires immediate medical attention. Swelling in both legs along with breathing difficulties could signal heart-related issues, while rapid weight gain and other symptoms may point to kidney problems. If these warning signs are absent and the swelling is gradual, symmetrical, and improves after rest, it is more likely related to lymphatic drainage. There are generally 3 types of swelling seen in older adults. The first is venous swelling, caused by weakened veins that allow blood to pool in the legs. The second is lymphatic swelling, where fluid accumulates in tissues due to poor drainage. The third involves systemic issues related to the heart or kidneys. Identifying the correct type is essential because each requires a different approach. A typical example is someone who notices that their swelling worsens after long periods of sitting but improves with walking or activity. This pattern strongly suggests a lymphatic issue. During the day, fluid slowly leaks into tissues while the body remains mostly inactive. By evening, the accumulation becomes visible as swelling. At night, when lying down, this fluid re-enters the bloodstream, causing frequent urination and disturbed sleep. This cycle repeats daily, gradually worsening over time. Simple self-checks can help identify this condition. Pressing firmly on the shin and observing whether an indentation remains is known as the pitting test. Difficulty pinching the skin on the top of the foot may indicate advanced lymphatic congestion. These signs provide insight into how well your lymphatic system is functioning. Several common habits make this condition worse. Hidden sodium in processed foods pulls water into tissues, increasing swelling. Prolonged sitting, especially in the evening, allows fluid to accumulate before bedtime. Alcohol further worsens the problem by increasing fluid leakage from blood vessels and disrupting normal fluid regulation. On the other hand, certain habits support healthy lymphatic flow. Staying properly hydrated keeps lymph fluid thin and easier to move. Foods rich in flavonoids strengthen blood vessels and reduce leakage. Adequate protein intake is crucial because proteins help maintain fluid balance within blood vessels. Magnesium also supports muscle and vessel function, aiding circulation. One of the most effective solutions is a simple daily routine designed to stimulate lymphatic movement. This begins in the morning with gentle ankle movements before getting out of bed, helping to restart fluid circulation after a night of rest. Throughout the day, brief periods of movement or calf exercises prevent fluid from accumulating. Even a short walk before dinner can significantly improve circulation. The most impactful step occurs in the evening. Elevating the legs above heart level for a short period allows gravity to assist in draining accumulated fluid. Combining this with slow, deep breathing activates the main lymphatic duct, enhancing fluid movement. Gentle upward massage of the legs further supports this process by guiding fluid back into circulation. These simple actions can noticeably reduce swelling and improve sleep quality by preventing nighttime fluid shifts. Over time, consistent practice of these habits can produce significant improvements. Swelling decreases, discomfort is reduced, and sleep becomes more restful. Importantly, these changes do not rely on medication, but instead address the underlying mechanism of the problem. Ultimately, the key message is that the body's systems, whether related to cancer prevention or fluid balance, are highly responsive to daily behavior. Small, consistent actions can restore balance, improve function, and reduce risk. Understanding how these systems work empowers individuals to make informed decisions that directly influence their health and quality of life. What ties everything together, from cancer prevention to fluid balance, is a single, powerful principle. Your body is not static. It is constantly adapting to what you do every day, especially during key windows like the early morning and late evening. These are not random moments. They are biologically sensitive periods where small actions can either strengthen your internal systems or quietly weaken them over time. After the age of 50 or 60, the body naturally begins to lose efficiency. DNA repair slows down, immune defenses become less aggressive, and circulation, both blood and lymphatic, becomes less effective. But these changes are not absolute or irreversible. They are heavily influenced by behavior. The decisions made within the first hours of waking and the final hours before sleep play a disproportionate role in determining how well these systems function. In the morning, the body enters a state of heightened readiness. Hormonal signals activate immune cells, preparing them to detect and eliminate abnormal cells. This is the ideal time to support those processes through intentional habits, nutrient-dense intake, controlled eating patterns, and exposure to natural light. When used correctly, this window becomes a daily opportunity to reinforce protection against long-term diseases, including cancer. At the same time, what happens in the evening is just as important. The body shifts toward recovery and repair. However, if fluid has accumulated throughout the day due to inactivity, the night becomes a period of compensation rather than restoration. Instead of focusing on healing, the body is forced to redistribute excess fluid, placing stress on the heart and kidneys and interrupting sleep cycles. Over time, this reduces overall recovery capacity and contributes to fatigue and other health issues. This is why simple interventions, like light movement during the day, mindful eating, and short routines to stimulate circulation, have such powerful effects. They are not isolated actions. They are signals that guide how the body allocates its energy and resources. A short walk, proper hydration, or even controlled breathing can influence circulation, immune activity, and cellular repair in ways that compound over time. Another critical factor is consistency. Many people abandon beneficial habits because they cannot perform them perfectly every day. However, biological systems respond to repetition, not perfection. Performing these routines most of the time, rather than occasionally doing them perfectly, is what leads to measurable improvements. The body builds momentum through consistency, gradually shifting toward a healthier baseline. It is also important to understand that symptoms like swelling, fatigue, or even increased disease risk are often not sudden events. They are the result of small, repeated patterns over months or years. Likewise, improvement does not come from a single action, but from sustained behavioral change. When you correct the underlying mechanisms, whether it's improving lymphatic flow or supporting cellular repair, you begin to see changes that are both noticeable and lasting. Ultimately, the message is simple but powerful. Your health is being shaped daily, often before you are fully aware of it. The first choices you make in the morning and the final habits you follow at night are not trivial, they are foundational. They influence how your immune system responds, how your cells repair themselves, how fluids move through your body, and how well you recover during sleep. You do not need extreme measures or complex interventions to create meaningful change. What you need is awareness and consistency. Small actions, performed regularly, can shift the direction of your health in a measurable way. Over time, these shifts accumulate, leading to improvements not just in how you feel, but in how your body functions at a deeper biological level. The real takeaway is this: your body is always responding to your habits. Every morning presents an opportunity to strengthen your defenses, and every evening offers a chance to restore balance. When you align your daily routine with how your body naturally works, you are no longer fighting against biology. You are working with it. And that is where the most meaningful long-term results come from.